Wait, what? No, 160.
3 times 14.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, but what I wanted to ask you is this. Here, the deposit thing, or deposit a lesser amount to overcome the
Oh, whole amount.
Yeah, it's next Friday.
And please get your Spanish call that I'm going to review ready.
Okay. No one is joining.
Probably since this call isn't finished.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna prepare the file.
Feel free to put the call on the chat. Take your time.
Hmm?
Put the call on the chat.
Okay. What the fuck? Where it is? Yeah?
Pedersen, have you ever been described as underdeveloped?
No. Why?
Just wondering. Like from like a chromosome kind of like basis. Huh.
Maybe it's the bald head.
Yeah. Wonderful. We're waiting for Enzo to put on his call today. Guys, we're reviewing a Spanish call, which means only 2 people can understand it, and I can half understand it. How are you, Jess?
I'm good.
Jess, are any of these people your people?
Yeah,
Who?
Alex.
Oh, you have underdeveloped.
And no other Alex Diaz and Christian.
And which one of them are worse from the 2?
What do you mean? I will not say that.
Like, which one does less work?
Which one does less work? Honestly, right now I think potentially Christian, but that's because we've spoken less. So I don't know.
Okay. All right, fair. I haven't booked in again. I have to. Sorry about that.
How does it
It
feel?
doesn't give me the option to share the link. I don't know why. I have it in Drive.
Just share your screen. Christian, how did it feel that a woman looks at you and sees you as a lesser man compared to another?
Oh my God, man. If you put it that way, that's tough. I don't know.
I don't have that feeling, so I'm just curious how it feels from the other side.
Okay, I'm booking in soon. Can't handle that.
I just booked.
So, top right, press the 3 dots. Ends up 3 dots, top right.
Where? More
top right of the fucking screen.
I'm hearing what it says more. Can you see it?
Wait, hold on, give me a sec. Let me see if I can do this. There you go.
Oh,
Hmm. Oh, it's because you've opened it here. Ubaldo.
yeah, I didn't find it.
That does make sense. Why can't you find it?
Yeah, I mean, it's on my Gmail, and it was yesterday on Drive, and now it's just on the Gmail.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me just control the screen. I'll do it this one. Sorry, Polsky is flirting unnecessarily. Dirty dog. Trying to do a call here. So,
Put it from the minute 7 because this I was waiting for him to open the call.
7 minutes you're waiting.
Yeah, he was delayed. Now he joined, I think.
Bueno,
Ya.
¿cómo está todo? Tú eres de Nueva Jersey, ¿o no? En Jersey, sí, estaba lloviendo aquí también, pero ya paró, así que bien, chévere. No. ¿Qué tenemos, Enzo? Sí, vamos directo al grano. Bueno, nunca he hecho esto antes, pero quiero ofrecerte algo distinto a mis clientes, ya que creo que juntos podemos escalar nuestro negocio. Pero para eso primero necesito hacerte unas preguntas para saber si esta propuesta realmente va a valer la pena. Sé que era una persona bastante ocupada, la llamada pasada me lo dijiste, pero
Why are you moving like a bitch?
I don't know. Should I just be like without moving my shirt?
Well, what the fuck are you gaining by moving? You're trying to you come across as more sociable. Like, I know you people are sociable. There's no need for it on this call.
quiero saber algunas cosas, porque si no, claramente no quiero hacer perder tu tiempo con la propuesta. Bien. ¿Qué te motivó a unirte a esta segunda llamada conmigo? No, simplemente curiosidad, a ver qué tiene nuevo, que de verdad, aquella ocasión de que no, lo que vi no me resultó nada atractivo, que no pienso invertir, gastar dinero así a lo loco, como estaba haciendo anteriormente con otras compañías que no resultaron para nada y lo que hice fue perder dinero y tiempo. Y, o sea, ¿y qué no te parece atractivo? No, me refiero a la otra reunión que tuvimos con relación a la inversión inicial y eso. Ok, eso no te pareció atractivo, la inversión inicial. Y puedo saber por qué, qué experiencias tuviste con empresas pasadas. Tú me dijiste que trabajaste con empresas de lead generation anteriormente, dijiste que no.
The fucking annoying thing is you're mumbling.
What?
You're mumbling. You're connecting all your fucking words, making it slightly difficult.
If you don't understand something, you can ask me.
Que no resultaron para nada y lo que hice fue perder dinero y tiempo. Y, o sea, ¿y qué no te parece atractivo? No, me refiero a la otra reunión que tuvimos con relación a la inversión inicial y eso. Ok, eso no te pareció atractivo, la inversión inicial. No. Y puedo saber por qué, qué experiencias tuviste con empresas pasadas. Tú me dijiste que trabajaste con empresas de lead generation anteriormente.
Yeah. One thing where you're fucking up is you have to understand that where's this guy from?
Dominican Republic.
Okay. These cultures are very classist. Right? So you have the people that are on your side, which try to stay away from the sun as an indication that you are better than the other people who have to stay and work in the sun. right? And you have to be able to differentiate that and act in accordance. Right now, you're trying to show some sense of relatability. That's why you keep moving around and trying to keep it casual. What you want to do is have a clear distinction between you and him. You have to push that agenda.
Okay, because I was trying to build that connection because as we both speak Spanish,
No.
it was kind of close.
No, you have to look at it from a cultural point of view, where you know what I'm talking about when you get those pendejos who are of the lighter skin color and they act like assholes.
Yeah.
That's what you need to come across as,
Okay.
right? Because then he's gonna think, cool. It will make him uncomfortable, but there will be a strange automatic assurance that you know what you're doing.
Okay. Yeah, because the problem with him is that he didn't want to pay up front. So I tried to structure an offer that he liked. He told me like, yeah, I like this offer way more than the other one. And now we have the follow-up next Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to translate that part. The thing is, you need to have a distinction to the point where he is too uncomfortable to tell you that he doesn't like the pricing. Does that make sense? Because a lot, like, it's as though you want to solicit his ego. Does that make sense?
So can you repeat?
An example would be if you were to tell him, obviously it's all circumstantial. Can you open the door? Saying to him in a pendejo way, can you not afford it? Is it a financial thing?
So
Yeah.
play with his ego.
How is he going to react?
Yeah, so it will be like, no, I can't afford it.
And he's going to whip out his card. Now, I'm not saying for you to say that, but that's the approach that you need to take.
Yeah. Like the message. Okay.
You know,
And it's because of the big difference. Because even in the way that the language is spoken, it's very distinct between who you are. Yeah, and you need to play into that distinction.
no cumplían las cosas que ofrecían, etcétera. ¿Qué pasó ahí? Sí, ciertamente era, ellos publicaban hacían Facebook Ad, y el tipo de lead que reportaban eran personas que ni siquiera eran dueños de casa, o personas que no saben cómo llegaron a conseguir su información, otros viven en building que no son dueños, o sea, un desastre, o sea, que perdí mi tiempo, mi dinero y por esa razón decidí no seguir. Y no solo yo, hay compañías de lead gen que se dedican a venderle el mismo listado a 20,000 personas y esa es la manera que yo hago negocio. Entonces te ves en la posición de estar como un Shark Tank, que tú estás compitiendo y la gente recibiendo 20,000 llamadas. Ya me llamaron esta mañana, me llamaron hoy, me llamaron. O sea que eso no es nada. Yo tengo otra manera de cómo conseguirlo, no tiene que ser.
Okay, but now based on what he's just said, I'm not going to translate for everyone, just from my understanding. You now need to bring up what is his closing rate, because he's making a claim against other people. So you need to push to him what is his closing rate and what were the issues. You have to be able to distinguish them from him, right? And then you have to go into the type of lead gen that he does. No, not lead gen, how is he getting it and what are his numbers? That's the next thing that you need to get.
Yeah.
Right? You want to put him on the fence? Cool. He's saying this about that. The other companies, what is he doing and what has he tried? What is his conversion rates? What are the differences? And it will show distinction that you understand that there's differences in closing rates, which is very obvious, but it will help you push your agenda, except for the fact that you're trying to be a spastic and relate to someone that you should be relating to.
Okay.
Básicamente, tu problema fue la mala calidad.
And look, there is mirroring. You can use mirroring. Can I tell you why you can't use mirroring right now?
Why?
Look at this background.
No es nada. Yo tengo otra.
Look at that background. Do you see the distinction?
No.
Look at his environment.
So it's like an office and it's like a living room.
No, it's a cultural difference. Do you get my point?
No.
You can tell a lot based on how someone's dressed, how their office looks. You can tell a lot about them. Right?
So basically he's an intellectual player. That's what.
I'm really not saying that.
Okay.
you won't be able to relate to him because you come across that you have a stick up your ass in comparison. Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, no, yes.
Yeah, because perfectly fine comes across that you both have money. Look at the age gap. Yeah,
Mm,
and look at the cultural differences would come to play a lot here.
Okay.
Eso no,
And I would have played into that.
no es nada.
El problema fue la mala calidad de leads y que las leads eran compartidas, ¿no?
Ya.
Ya, perfecto. Tú me dijiste que trabajabas principalmente en Nueva Jersey y Pensilvania, ¿no?
Sí, eso es mi mercado principal. Tengo negocio en Florida.
¿Y te enfocas, los clientes los cierras presencialmente o online?
¿Perdón?
¿Los clientes los cierras presencialmente? ¿Vas a sus casas?
Sí, el 80% de manera virtual. Luego hay personas que tienen ciertas limitaciones, no son muy dados a la tecnología y también que se sienten más cómodos con la visita.
Ah, ok. Pero tú qué has encontrado, es mucho más fácil que termines cerrando ese cliente si lo haces de forma virtual o de forma presencial.
Para mí no hay diferencia, yo cierro como quiera, pero me siento más, ellos se asocian más, se sienten más cómodos muchas veces cuando están en persona, porque la conexión que se hace es diferente en persona.
Obviamente.
He tenido alguna persona que me dice, esto que estamos cerrando ahora, si hubiese sido virtual, no, quizá no me siento la confianza, porque ya tú.
One issue is he's in charge right now, like massively in charge. Also, his Spanish is a lot better than yours. Your Spanish is shit. Yeah.
Okay.
When was the last time you lived in a Spanish-speaking country?
Sorry?
When did you last live in a Spanish-speaking country?
9 months ago.
It shows.
Confianza y la interacción y la comunicación ahí es más fluida.
O sea, ambos podemos estar de acuerdo que un cliente en el que tú te juntes con él en persona, las posibilidades de cerrarlo son mayores.
Sí, claro.
Ok, entonces presencial. Tú me habías dicho la llamada pasada sobre el tiempo. ¿Te hace falta tiempo para cerrar los clientes? ¿Te gustaría ahorrar el tiempo de alguna forma?
¿Tiempo en qué sentido?
Tú dijiste que no estás para perder el tiempo para estar llamando, no sé.
No.
Another thing is you don't utilize silence. When he responds, just hold silence. Right? You're trying to have a conversation. He's just giving you straight answers because he doesn't give a shit. Right? And then you're not, as soon as he answers, you're speaking. You need to relax, hold the frame. If anything, I wouldn't say it would snap him out of it. He wouldn't be expecting the silence, which will allow him to be a little bit more curious towards what you're saying. Pedersen?
Yeah, so like in Enzo's case, you mentioned the cultural difference, and I think all of us to an extent should do things similar to that, where you build this frame to where you're I don't know, I'm gonna put this really bluntly, but like so above him in terms of finance or your business or whatever, to where it almost creates this distance. But do you have any like practical, I don't know, exercises or tips to kind of reinforce that mindset, for example, before going into a sales call? Because sometimes I can nail that, but other times, if I'm feeling off that day or whatever, then I just lose it completely.
So you're saying, how do I push white is right?
No.
So what are you saying? Are you talking
No,
about no, because you're mixing culture and frame.
Okay, yeah, but in terms of how it's perceived, it could be kind of linked in a sense, no? Because
in this case, it's specific to the bloody Spaniards. Actually, it's quite a lot of people. Applies to the Asians as well, but it's also in the Hispanic community where, and the Indians do this as well. Basically, the whiter you are, it indicates that you don't have to work outside, right? The darker you are, the more likely you are to spend time outside. And that creates a difference in the socioeconomic situation that you were in. If I may ask respectfully, Enzo, is your mother very white?
No.
Did you know?
No, she's from Ecuador.
Is she working in the fields?
She's a doctor.
What the fuck, she know white?
Your theory doesn't make sense.
No, man, my theory holds. Alejandro, do you concur with my theory?
I agree. I agree with the
He's from
theory.
Colombia, obviously.
Okay.
Anchal, do you agree with my theory?
Sure.
Sarah?
Sure.
Okay, I got shores. It's a cultural thing.
Yeah, hey, excuse me, so I suppose that my question is like slightly disconnected then, but in terms of sort of holding that frame or getting into that frame of where you're like almost this other person, do you have like any tips for how to do
Okay.
that on a consistent basis or?
If you want to do it consistently, it's holding the mindset, can I make money off you? And then you're interrogating them to understand how much money they have, what are they doing, can they close, to see if you can make money off them. I have said on numerous amount of sales calls in the beginning, I'm going to be very honest. I'm going to see if I can make money off you. Are you okay with that? Then they say, yeah, that's fine. And then I ask them my questions.
But for example, me, particularly in my case, would you say something like that? Because I feel like, for example, like what you just said there, it communicates a very specific type of character that's, on the other side of the spectrum, for example, to someone like me. But
Yeah, because
if
you're
you
on the
said
spectrum.
something, if you said something like that in the beginning of the sales call and you were able to hold that frame, then I believe, for example, my closing rate would go up, depending on whether I nailed it or not.
Yeah.
So
You have to
like-
look at them as, see, you want a general frame? Use this, because I well and truly believe this. This is what I believe, and it is true. Everyone in the world has my money in their bank accounts for some strange reason, right? And it's my duty to take it back. They've just been holding it, like through generations, they're all holding my money. And now I need to find ways to take it back, right? Now, on the basis that I well and truly believe that, I will look at an individual and I'll say, cool, you have my money. How can I get it off you? Cool. So I'm going to question you in a certain manner. I'm going to treat it. It's removing them from the sales call and treating it as a sales call without them. So you have to look at it similar to a video game or an equation. What variables do I need to have in this specific case that will allow me to have the highest close rate based on the information that I've been able to gather? And I will take that person down that fucking road. Make sense?
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking this last question, so like on the framing specifically, I just kind of touched on that thought where you like create this big gap because I feel like, for example, when I first met you too, you had like a certain vibe about yourself, and I feel like that's likely different from how you were, for example, when you were a teenager. It's like a big character jump that you kind of position. I could be totally wrong,
No,
but going in,
like with money and broke, I thought it was a show. Like, well and truly.
sorry.
Like, okay, just carry on your thing. Carry on your thing.
So, basically, I mean, I think it's also volume of sales calls, obviously, but like, how can you build that almost opposite version of yourself to where you act so different that, I don't know, it
Okay.
ultimately,
I have the answer, right? Because I know the truth. And the truth is everyone is stupidly broke. Like the whole world is broke. It's impressive. Like people generally just don't have money. Right? So irrespective of who I'm speaking to, I know that they're broke.
so would you just kind of trick yourself into thinking for the time of the sales call that you're not broke, even if you are, like in my case?
Okay. Understand that it is the biggest issue with framing is that people hold the prospects opposite them on the call to a higher standard. But that standard came out of nowhere. You don't know how much money they have. You don't know who they are. You don't know how successful or hardworking they are. You've just given them some random amounts of respect for no reason. Like genuinely, right? As an example, for the bulk of you, you'll say thank you at the end of a sales call, irrespective of how it goes. Right? All calls I have, people end saying thank you to me, and I do not respond in kind. Yes? But now, why is that? Why is it that you end up in a position where you say thank you to people, and I end up in a position where people say thank you to me? And one thing about me, I don't tell anyone anything about myself. Right? So it's not like I've flexed this or done that or done that. Like I can flex a lot. I don't do any of it. So what's the difference? And most likely it's connected to the fact that you don't see it correctly. It's because you position them as some authority figure or someone who's going to help you in a no. I recognize that I'm here to help people. I have the value in this case. And I'm coming into a business to fix that bullshit. They have a problem. And as you've seen on all the calls that you've taken, do people have a problem?
Yeah.
So why are you giving
Okay. In terms of building like this alter character almost, would you say volume of sales calls is like the biggest way to
it's
solve
not
that?
no, it's not an altered character. It's just a different way of seeing things.
Oh, okay.
Like one of the things, God, alhamdulillah, God bless, that I have is I see the world a lot differently to the bulk of humans. Like how the average human will look at a situation, I will not look at it that way. Yes. And you have to recognize that what most people believe to be the truth is not the truth because they're not looking deep enough. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll give the most random example, right? There was some chick that I met here and I was hanging out with her lesbian friend, right? We're just chilling. Yeah. This chick brought some random guy from a night out to come, give it a good. Yeah. And then she had given her friend, the one that was having fun, had given the lesbian a call so she had called her, and on the call she had said, yeah, I'm just chilling with my dog, yeah. Oh, by the way, this guy won't leave. Now the lesbian's worried, but I know the truth of it. She just doesn't want to seem like a whore, so she's called her to initiate the first fact that she's saying, I'm with my dog, not with the man, even though the man's still there. And then she plays further into saying that he's not leaving. He is leaving. Because if you wanted him to leave, you'd have a very different voice right now if he wasn't leaving. And you'd be asking me to come back. No? But now the friend's getting worried, but that's not the truth of the matter. There's no reason to get worried. Her friend's just a thought. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's this different character. It's not that you're proactively building this character out or like trying to act, but it's like a different perspective that just results. Okay.
Yes. And the perspective is correct, which is the fuck thing. Yeah, I'll give an example of the recent sales call, which was the guy had just started his new business. He had no leads. My man needs a fucking problem to be fixed. There's no reason to compliment him. He doesn't have an active way to get leads. He was sick for 2 weeks, making him an embarrassment of a human being and a man for being sick in the first place, let alone for 2 weeks. Right? Why on earth show him anything? Make sense?
Yeah, I think so.
I would have questioned, why were you sick for 2 weeks? Yeah.
All right.
And the thing is, you have to, in order for that to kick in, it's not changing. Like you need to fix how you view the world. Right. And as you develop, you'll be able to see things through a clearer lens, like as you develop all the skills. And then it's becoming the person that you want to be. So it's not an altered version. It's just how you have to adjust your reality to fit into the frame of the version of you that will succeed. Because how you see the world and how the best version of you sees the world, very fucking day and light. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one allows you to walk, one doesn't.
Okay.
Because
yeah, thanks.
if I was to say, oh, they're broke, but I'm lying to myself, nothing the fuck is going to be achieved. I'm being deluded. Right? The reality of the situation is it's all relative. And while they may be intellectual buyers, there's levels to intellectual buyers. What are their margins? What is this? What is that? Make sense? You also you don't know their cost of living. And I just know that people lie a lot. So everyone is always in a worse position than what they make out. And I've seen this rinse and fucking repeat. Like, there's one person that I know who doesn't really lie publicly, and he does lie, but he's like well into the millions. So he's just lying about a few millions from like the other millions. So, as far as lies go, it's not the worst one. Yeah.
Okay.
And the worst thing is when you're retarded and you agree with their delusionment. So when they're retarded and you decide to accept the retardation, because you know you're double retarded. What do you expect to happen? Because the best version of you wouldn't accept that. They say this doesn't fucking maths. No,
Okay. Yeah.
then question why do you do it?
Yeah, well, I think it comes down to a question of like personal development. And sometimes when I'm going through in that moment,
And funny enough, what did I start on this call saying? Has anyone ever called you underdeveloped? Look, it wraps around.
yeah, the pale skin and the bald head don't help though, I think. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so I mean, I guess that's why I'm in this program.
Yep. Most people don't know why they come in and they're like, fuck. Yeah. Life. Mr. Diaz?
Yeah, like on that same topic, how much time took to you to like adopt that mindset or that point of view on yourself, like thinking that the best person or version you want to be, and also the fact that you are not any else like kind to people.
So I recognized it a long time ago when I was in a room after partying for a few days in a row, staying at some random person's house. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? I've done some maths, and this maths doesn't maths. Yes. Slowly but surely I disconnected everyone, and then I came to the realization if I really want to develop, I need to be alone. So I left everyone close, like good, bad, I don't care what the fuck, who they were, right? I left all of them in order to be by myself so that I can only learn from me. Because and the way that it works is the more people you have around you, the less you learn from everyone because you're picking loads of micro things off of everybody. Yeah. The only issue with what I did is the second that anyone is close to me for too long, I'll start pick up that dumb shit, like saying vibes or whatever it may be. Yeah. I'll use specific words that they use and I'll like learn a lot from them. So that's the only danger there. But in order to see things correctly, you have to remove the views of others around you. Because that will taint your own views. Because when you're in a situation where 10 people disagree with you, your brain will naturally go to what the other people believe to be true, whether it's because we're tribal creatures or whatever fucking reason. Due to cognitive dissonance, you are more likely to just accept their fact than believe your own to be true because of like group.
And since you were in that scenario after that party, how much time it took you to start really like having that mindset? Because I think I'm on a point, I literally cut all my friendships that I had in the past job. So now I have like one month and 1 week in this program, and since I've been like isolated and everything, but I am still being like willing to be kind, and also it reflects on my sales calls or even the cold calls.
Okay. Now, I'll be honest with you guys. I have gone too far. One of the few good people in my life has said to me, Ishmael, there was a genuine part in your heart that no one else had. It's no longer there. I don't think we can be friends anymore. Yeah. So I've gone too far to one side. I'm not saying go too far to one side. Right? And one big thing is its honesty. Right? It's being genuinely honest, and it's also being observant. Like I'm hyper observant of what people do and why they do it. And I listen to people's words specifically. So I will listen to someone's words and what they say to fully understand what they're actually trying to say to me, because I need the truth, not any other bullshit. Right? And more often than not, people don't even like, I'm going extreme with this. Most people just live subconsciously. Like they just go through life. Literally just on repeat. So they don't even know their own truth. Or they don't know why they have feelings or why they're this or why they're that. So you can't rely on them. So you have to observe them to understand them. And only when you truly do that, then you can look at a situation and do maths. Make sense? So you have to be observant. Why are they doing this? Why are they acting this way? What is this? What is that? And for a very long time, you'll be very bad at it. But just through process of elimination, you'll become good.
Okay. Yeah.
Ah,
I
wonderful.
was trying to do that.
20. Awesome. Yeah. Bella. I don't recommend this for girls, by the way.
So about what you said that you put like a prospect in the pedestal,
Yeah.
how would you overcome the mindset of like when I go to a networking event, I feel like I could put that alter ego on and like, oh yeah, I'm an agency owner, blah, blah, blah. But when I go into the Zoom call, I just struggle so much to not put them in a pedestal. And I don't know what is like the mindset issue there.
It's most likely, it's not that you put them on a pedestal, it's that you put yourself down.
Why?
Because you know your own truth. You know that you're trying to do sales calls, trying to do this, trying to do that. And then you're maybe potentially shy, or maybe it's something like not to the full extent, but it's that you believe that they see you for who you are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but wouldn't they catch on the lie, I guess?
No,
Better, easier in person?
People are retarded, genuinely retarded. I could tell someone I'm Chinese, they'll disagree with me. I say it 5 times, they'll be like, oh, really? Really? I'll say yes. And they'll be like, oh, that's fascinating. People are just fucking stupid. Yeah. And the next thing is, no one has a reason to believe that you're lying. Now, obviously, if your math doesn't match and you overspeak, then they can catch you out. But there's no reason for someone to believe that you're lying. And when
so it's just maintaining the frame.
Yes, yeah, just holding the frame.
Okay.
Yeah, and on top of that, on top of the fact that people won't automatically assume that you're lying, people are too agreeable to call you out on the lie. Like they have to be relatively disagreeable to be willing to do that. Like they'll keep it in their head, but they won't say it out loud. So they're they're not likely to challenge you.
Okay, so in the sales call, I should just pretend, or what am I supposed to do with like that mindset to get that alter ego on?
Give me 1 second. By the way, guys, this is going to be a long call, just to let you know. So I'm just going to mute myself for 1 second. Oh, yeah. I don't know who mute button is. Can you go to said individual, tell them to press accordingly. The food is. Thank you. Say that again, Bella.
So like on the sales call, how do I get into that mindset?
It's nothing to do. You see, that's the issue. It's nothing to do with the sales call.
Well, so I don't understand why can I do it in person in a networking event, but not in a sales call?
It should just be how you are as an individual. It doesn't make sense for it to be something that you turn on, turn off. Because what you're saying is, when should I turn on the truth, and when should I turn it off? How do I turn on the truth of the situation on a call?
Well, I guess not the truth, but like, you know, the future self. Like I could tap in my future self easier under certain circumstances.
It's a choice. It's verbatim choice. And what I mean by this is I've seen it a lot. And if you guys actually look at this and do it, you'll see it. It's really fascinating. So let's imagine you're about to try something new in front of a group of people. You would have decided before you start whether or not you fuck up. Like whether or not you will be good or bad at that new task is disgustingly correlated to whether or not you believe you will. So you know when you're just about to do something, right? That will decide whether you do or don't do it. It's very similar to, let's say there's a bridge and you want to jump into the water, right? It's in that second that you're like, I'm about to do it, and you get a big like gap in your stomach. It's not the fall, it's the anticipation of the fall, right? So it's how you see it beforehand that will dictate how it will happen. Now, one way to avoid this is, so let's say I'm hopping onto a call. Yeah. I've made this point on dates and stuff, right? I will not decide, like I won't even think about it. The outcome will be the outcome. I'm not going to stress about it, whether I'm good or bad, because irrespective of whether or not I'm good or bad, what will happen will happen. So why do I give a shit? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, say it back to me.
So you don't worry about the outcome, because no matter what you do, whatever is going to happen, regardless of.
Yeah. And in the big
picture, basically control what you can control.
Everything else is out of your control. Whether they like you or dislike you doesn't fucking mean shit. And in the big picture of the whole scheme of the universe, it really doesn't matter. So all you have to do is go there and do literally what you want to do. There is no reason why other people should dictate what you do or how you do something or how you think. Have you read the book that I've like one of the few books I recommended, which is The Courage to Be Disliked?
No, I haven't.
Read it.
Okay.
That would be a good book for you. But then if you like the book, read it 4 more times. No, 'cause
Okay.
it's a book that really fucks your brain, and for it to stick, you need to read it multiple times.
Got it. Thank you.
The Man from the Mountains.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
So if you want to develop, does that mean that you have to be always alone and isolated with yourself?
No. It just makes it a lot easier. Now, there's different ways to do it. So let's say, as an example, I want to develop something hyper specific, right? There's a high chance that I need to be alone or be around a new crowd so I can test this new behavior, because it's hard to change around those that you live with. Make sense? Or those that already know you. Now, on the other side, if I want to, let's say, fuck around with bigger entrepreneurs and learn from them, then I need to go into that crowd. Yeah, wiggle my way in there and then fuck around with them to learn from them, because you can still learn from people in order to get where you want to be. It's just putting yourself in positions to do so.
Okay, depending on the person, depending on your purpose, you just find your group more competent and more developed than you are, and you just
Yes, but
dive into that.
the biggest issue, right, is everybody lies,
Yeah.
right? And it's very hard to tell. There's an example. There's a guy that I recently met very briefly, right? Who came across as successful, but obviously I don't know if he's talking shit or not, because I saw his car. It could be rented for all I knew, right? I proposed, let's meet for coffee. I know that he's legit because he says, let's have a phone call first. Yeah. So he's giving me a shit test, which means he's made money. Yeah. Because then he would likely be doing that in order to differentiate whether or not I'm just trying to, you know, be there, or if I'm competent. Make sense?
There's actual exchange of value, and maybe he can learn something from you as well.
Yes, but then in order to not waste his time, because his time is apparently valuable, yeah, he wants to have a phone call. Yeah. So when dabbling with other people, recognize that what 99% of the population lie a lot. And the last thing you want is to end up in a position where there are people that lie. I'll give an example, right? Should I give them the example of the guy in the building? Yeah, there's a guy in this building, very interesting individual, yeah, truly a spastic, who has posted videos of my car, yeah, as though it's his own. And he's hidden his Instagram from me, right? And he's telling people that it's his car, along with other cars that aren't his car, right? And based on his Instagram, you would think he's very successful. Like he's got photos of him editing what was it, a G-Wagon Mansouri? Yeah, Brabus, which is a relatively expensive car. And then he also asked me to pay for his dinner. So, you know, be careful. Like, there's a lot of bullshit out there, and listen to what people say, because that will tell you everything that you need to know. And trust your gut. Like when something doesn't make sense, trust your gut and go discover. Socratic question.
Okay, so to recognize this bullshit, you just need to actively listen and ask questions and trust your gut.
Yeah. And don't say someone's lying. Catch them out on the lie.
Mm-hmm. And ask him that. Would you ask them why do you think so, and why keep asking them why, or do you think it will piss them off?
No. You have to. How does this? When you think someone's lying, they've got a base lie, and most people are too agreeable to check them on their lie. So they most likely aren't prepared. They most likely aren't prepared to. They aren't prepared for someone to challenge them. So the second that you do challenge them, they will overspeak and overspeak. And the more they speak, the more it's out in the open. The more it's out in the open, the more likely they are to fuck up, and they will fuck up.
So there's actually not so much work to do in order to get this
bullshit
from there.
No, because you will know. Let's say sales is an example. Yeah. Now, while you are a bit retarded, Alsan, you're getting relatively good at sales. Yeah. All things considered. So when someone tells you that they're in sales, You, based on what they discuss about sales, you will know whether or not they are in sales or they aren't in sales or how much money they make. Yeah. And a way to further this point, and then we'll move on, is let's say we have Tom sitting next to me. Tom's an NPC, right? And then someone's telling Tom about their business and how and this and that and this and that. Tom's going to be sitting there amazed. Yeah. Tom's going to be sitting there in amazement, right? Yeah. Tom's going to be sitting there in amazement. But now, when it comes to me, I know that their maths won't maths, right? And I'll know that it's all bullshit. So you need to have experience in the field to know whether or not someone is good or isn't good. Socratic questioning and that type of questioning will get the answers out. Make sense?
Mm-hmm. And when you are in a group of people and you have no other choice, but you have to be in this group, how do you filter out this bullshit from other people?
How the fuck do you have to be in this group? You're a
Let's
cuck.
say, like university class or something like that.
I was once in university. I wasn't there for long. And I wanted to go to a party, and a bunch of them said to me, "Oh, we have to go home." There's a group of like 5 of them. I gave them a whole 5-minute speech on how they're all pussies and how their disappointments as individuals, etc., 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 etc. I looked at them and I said, "We can't hang out," and I just walked away. Be a man, not a mouse. And it's in those actions, because every time you decide to stay in that group or in that setting, knowing it's not good for you, you're telling yourself who you are.
Yeah, I always try to leave from these groups, but sometimes because of some group works, you have to be in this group and you hear all of this bullshit. And I know that when you are in group, it can influence you in your thoughts.
I would literally just turn my brain off and think about other things.
Okay. I see. Thank you.
Thanks, bullshit. It's golden.
Do you think delusion to some degree, like self-delusion, can be like helpful?
The fact is it's not delusion. Because let's imagine you end up being correct. Were you deluded?
Yeah, exactly. No, I guess not.
Yeah.
But then, like, the one thing is that, like, for example, let's say I'm taking on a bunch of sales calls in one day. I find that, like, if I'm asked, like, how many clients I have or how many clients I work with, like, I can very easily lie, right? And say, like over 200 at this point, whatever. But then slowly, slowly my mind, like, subconsciously actually believes that that's true. So, like, for better or worse, like, my frame can kind of, like, change based on, like, lies that, like, my mind is kind of believing. Does that make sense?
Be careful, because
Yeah, exactly.
you'll change into, like, that can happen. Your
Mhm.
unconscious will know it's not true, and it will eat away at you, and you'll
Yeah,
start to think more
exactly.
and more and more. Right? It's similar to the
Okay.
guy who's posting retarded photos of my vehicle and other people's vehicles when he doesn't own a fucking car himself. Right? The whole world may believe him, but what do you think that does to his brain that he's doing it, knowing it's not true?
Yeah.
As an example, some chick may ask him, "Is that your car?" Whichever fucking one he's decided to post. He'll say yes. Then he's gonna think, "Oh, the only reason, whether it's conscious or unconscious, the only reason that she is with me is because of the car. And it's not even my car, it's a car I have been unable to obtain." So what's that gonna do? Right?
Mhm.
You can have your own fronts for as long as you want, but it will eat you inside out and it will destroy you.
Mhm.
He also wears
But,
makeup.
like, he wears makeup.
It's not good.
Teach their own. Teach their own.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, delusion to some degree is kind of like necessary though, right?
But it's who is to say it's delusion? Because on the basis that you are correct, everyone else is deluded. And on the basis that you don't give up, you will win.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah.
So why is it deluded?
But I
Yeah,
guess you're right.
put it like this. Let's say now you have to be careful to not tell anyone what you're going to do, because the second you tell someone of what you're going to do, I promise you, you're not going to do it.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Now, let's say to yourself, you believe I'm going to be a millionaire. Right? Cool. I'm going to be a millionaire. The reason I'm going to be a millionaire is I'm ready to take 1 million calls. Statistically speaking, on the basis that I do 1 million calls and I charge 1,000 and I get a whatever percent close rate, which is really, really bad, I'm a millionaire. I've made $1 million. On the basis that you're ready to go to the furthest extremes to make it happen, you will succeed. No?
Yeah. And then you're not meant to like talk to other people about stuff really, because it's like mental masturbation to some degree, right?
No, it's not. It's a lot worse than that. It's fake dopamine. So when you
Yeah,
tell
exactly.
something that you're going to do, what you're doing is you're releasing, because they're going to react to it in a positive or whatever manner, and that's going to release endorphins into your brain, or dopamine. I'm not sure exactly what chemicals, and you're going to get the sensation of having done it, and that's going to fuck with you doing it. And you will see a very strong correlation to you succeeding and other people not knowing about it.
So when did you stay down until though? Like when did you start like telling people? Like a while, right?
People don't know what I do.
Okay, but like when did you tell whatever, like family, whatever it is?
My family don't know what I do.
Your family doesn't know what you do?
No clue. The thing I
Okay.
do something with online.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they will never know, because what do they gain by knowing? What generally, what changes in their life?
Yeah, I guess nothing.
Like anything at all. Let's imagine I have an OnlyFans agency, crypto, SMMA, e-commerce. Irrespective of whatever the fuck I'm doing, is it going to change their lives? No. So why would I tell them?
Yeah.
There is only negative outcomes from that, you telling other people what you do.
And then it's just like kind of pressure, I guess it would be, if you were to
Yes.
like to tell everyone every step of the way.
Yeah.
So you think like,
yeah, Karen.
yeah, I'm just saying like the only like real pressure or whatever should just be like from you coming on yourself, right? That sounded crazy. But you know what I mean? Like
No,
that sounded crazy. That sounded crazy. All right, pause. But like, you know, like the pressure should only be like you putting it on yourself, I guess.
No,
right?
because once you are alone, you have no pressure.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
What's the pressure? Wouldn't you care how long it takes?
Yeah. So you shouldn't really set like strict time frames for goals too, probably.
You don't know enough maths.
Yeah.
So you don't know your actual conversion rate. You don't know your actual booking rates. You don't know this. You don't know that. You can give yourself a timeline. It's fucking redundant because it's not based on anything.
Yeah.
Now, after a lot of experience, cool. You can give yourself a timeline. But even then, I'd be careful doing it.
Okay.
As an example, if you haven't hit 10K and you say, I'm going to take 6 months to hit 10K, based on what? Based on what criteria or experience? Make sense?
Yeah, it actually makes sense.
Well, if you speak with me, I can give you like a mathematical, like I can do a formula that will work, and you will hit targets on the basis that you do the work. Like I can break down the maths and give you an accurate data.
I'll take that. I'll take that formula.
No, because you won't do the work. Because the second I tell you what it is required, it's going to fuck with your brain, and then you won't do the work.
Okay, I see. Like an amount of calls per day, basically, is what you're saying, though.
And you won't do the work because of the pressure. Because you're like, fuck.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense. Okay.
Okay. Tazina.
Hi, I had a question. So basically, I know a coach, right? She was my old mentor. And I've been wanting to make her my client, and I was like waiting because, oh, I want to get my first client and then like show the testimony and then like tell her what I'm doing. But I haven't like had any client, right? So I'm like, should I just reach out to her because it'll be easier for me since she know me?
No.
No?
You're not developing anything. It's easier for you to do what? To land someone you already know, or they'd be doing you a favor. There's no translation with that and sales skills. You can say, it'll make me feel more confident. Cool. You still don't have the sales skills.
Okay, so don't bother.
No, you can. But in the long term, it's not going to make the biggest difference. The only reason it would make a difference is if you really believe it makes a difference. But from a like statistical point of view now. And on the basis that it's someone that you do know and you've never created campaigns before and it doesn't go well and you burn their money, what's that going to do to your mental?
Like break the relationship.
Yep.
That's why I never wanted to do it, but I was thinking, okay.
Then don't do it. Don't go the easy way. Yeah.
Okay.
And you'll also have a negative effect on the relationship when you ask her and if she says no.
Hmm.
Because all those times she said she believed in you. Apparently she didn't. Yeah. I wouldn't ask if I was you, but feel free to do it.
Okay, even if like for free, like, I don't know.
Are you a slave?
Huh?
Are you a slave?
Not slave, but like she
Hmm.
has to pay for the advertising. I was like,
Thizine, where are you from again? Originally?
Myanmar.
Myanmar.
Yeah,
Where's that?
it's do you know Thailand?
I know Thailand. Can
Yeah.
you check if the Thailand people, just quickly on Google, whatever slaves? I'm going to see if it's an ancestral thing that's come to Thizine.
I'm not from Thailand though. I mean, I'm just saying like my country is close to Thailand, that's what I'm saying. But not a lot of people know my country. It's called Myanmar.
Can you Google Myanmar? Were the Myanmarian people ever slaves? I think from my response, you have the answer.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't even go to the toilet on someone else's behalf for free. Do I look white? Someone offered me a fork. I was like,
Would you say that you should never?
your people were enslaved until 1905. So I think this is a hereditary thing. Don't bring it back.
Okay, makes sense.
I was like,
Would you say that you should never think that you are better than others, even if it's true in some ways?
why are we laughing? On top?
Nothing. I just found it funny.
I was on his face. Yeah, it's a bit funny. It's a difficult one. You cannot think that, even as a Muslim, you can't think that you're better than anybody else because you've received blessings that others have not to get you into that position. But I do recognize that people are truly fucking retarded.
Yeah.
I think 3 times in the past week, I've looked at people and said, why do people call me arrogant? Look at the retards. This is why. Yeah, but best not. You have nothing to gain. You only have loss from it.
Mhm. So even if you see something and you subconsciously think, oh, this is a retard, but still you think like, I'm not better than him
You know,
anyway.
you may be by your own metrics, but by other metrics, like I'm very good at many things. I'm not good emotionally. I'm a retard emotionally. So how am I comparing myself to other people? I may be good at this thing, but terrible at another thing. So doesn't mean that I'm better than them. I have my skills, they have theirs. Mine are just more, fun. But then that's not everybody. Yeah.
You eliminate this automatic thoughts when you see someone retarded and you think this is retard.
The same reason you should never judge a beggar because you don't know where they come from.
Yeah.
And you don't know their story, and you don't know whether if you were on their path, you would have been better or worse.
Yeah.
As an example, you can look at someone who's doing drugs on the street or whatever the fuck, yeah, and you judge them for it. Now, the fact is, if you lived their exact same life, there's a high chance you would have killed yourself because you weren't strong enough to do it, and they were stronger than what you are. And if they were in your position with whatever experience and back, whatever it may be, they could be doing better than you. And based on that, best you shut the fuck up and hope nothing bad happens to you. Because when you start judging and you truly become arrogant, I believe that's when they say you will be smited down and humility will be brought upon you. And honestly, not a position you really want to end up in.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a day I was driving arrogantly and being quite rude to people. And then my car got taken away by the police that day. And I was like, yep. My apologies, my lord. I apologize. Won't do it again. I must be a good driver, a nice, happy driver. Be kind to people and let them pass me.
Okay, so you would just force your thoughts, not
No.
giving any opinion about, yeah,
No, because it's not an accurate thought.
yeah,
Yeah. If a prince believes he's better than all the other people, Habibi, you just came out of a special vagina,
Yeah.
which made you prince. Do you want to be one of those people?
Thank
By
you.
the way, Enzo, I do aim to finish your call. Just loads of questions are coming up.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. I must-
Matthias' hand is up, so you know that's gonna just by quite a bit. Sammy,
Yeah, so it's regarding niche, something that Kian we was speaking to. Could I speak to you in private after this?
no,
Uh,
but well done for trying. Matthias, and the reason I say this is I don't know how, like, we're already 1 hour in, and I'm like halfway done.
Yo, man,
You,
hear me well?
yeah.
Great. I'm thinking about using this clear out phone software because I have no issues with gatekeepers at all, and just seems to be a waste of time again. Like each time you say, give me a call back, you never call back. And I feel like I'm wasting time. Even if I do 300 calls, 400 calls, they never come back. So do you recommend to use that software?
What's to lower the likelihood of gatekeepers?
A lot. I'm calling Florida, Miami. It's constantly each time, after each gatekeeper, and chances of like having
Well-
over is almost zero.
Put it like this, right? If you want to do it in order to speak to the owners quicker, go for it. But if the truth behind it is you fear rejection and you can't handle someone saying no, you have to keep going with the rejection, because on the basis that it's based on rejection and you're trying to avoid that pain and you put a software in, you fucked yourself mentally. Because now anytime there's going to be a problem, you won't battle it, you try and find a solution.
I'm running away, basically. Yeah, I see what you say. No, it's not for that. Like I can handle the rejection from gatekeepers. Not saying that to Pep. Myself or you.
This is the same person that says he doesn't miss his daddy.
I know what we discussed previously, but it's not for that. Really, I'm fine with the rejection, but just getting annoying. Like, okay, I can handle the rejection, but come on, man, give me an owner. Stop talking. You see?
On the basis, and you have to be very careful here, that it's got nothing to do with rejection, then go for it.
Yeah, but someone.
If it's not a fear of rejection and you're just being logical, go for it. But if it's to avoid pain, you're being an idiot because the pain will come in the future. It's best to do your pain like in big chunks as soon as possible.
Gonna finish this week. Gatekeepers, let's see next week if I think the same.
Thank you for the update on your life. It's like a running commentary. Like we'll have a conversation, then you. This is what Matthias are going to do next.
Yeah, man. Great.
Now back to the Hispanic call. I don't fully understand. So.
Claro, porque si yo agarro ahora mismo, yo me pongo, yo tengo 20.000 programas donde yo puedo llamar a todas las personas que yo quiera. Yo tengo teléfono, el nombre, el dueño de la casa, email y muchísima información. O sea que no tengo tiempo de estar llamando. Me podría hacer el script, que la gente ya muestre cierta intención, cierto interés en los paneles solares y ya te ahorra tiempo de tener que hacer esa evaluación inicial que muchas veces es necesaria y muy importante.
¿Cuántas ventas más o menos tienes cada mes?
Sí, eso varía de la época.
No, even there, you ask like a bitch. Yeah, look at this.
Muchas veces es necesaria y
So he's very robotic. So you're not even correctly if you wanted to.
muy importante.
¿Cuántas ventas más o menos?
¿Cuánta? Yeah. How many? No.
Okay, yeah, I get your point.
You, like,
I mean, it's all about accents also, but yeah.
No, but you've gone for the how many rather than what are the numbers. Right? And they're completely different ways to say something. If you were to say, and how many of these have you done? Compared to, and what are the numbers for what you do here? Right? One of them is, I'm an intellectual pulling data off of you. Give me the data, give me the data. The other one is, please give me this answer, and please give me this answer.
Okay.
Which is two completely different ball games.
Gotcha. Menos tienes cada mes.
Sí, eso varía de la época.
Yeah, like, and I'm not touching on the pitch because I know the pitch is like accent. Like correct.
Hay veces que he tenido hasta 15, 20 en un mes, otra vez he tenido 1, 2, 3, eso depende, varía, no sé. No me he sentado a sacar un promedio, pero.
Does he work with English speakers?
Yeah, and also Latinos.
Really?
both.
He works with Latino. Fuck, who would have fucking knew that? Man, mad.
¿Ya alcanzó alguna meta al respecto?
Sí, no, claro, todo el mundo tiene su meta, obviamente la meta que tú te pones va de acuerdo al esfuerzo que tú pongas.
Claro, pero
Were you able to pull the numbers on Spanish speaking clients versus non-Spanish?
no, I didn't think about it, but it's a good one.
No, very important. He's Florida based?
No, New Jersey.
Okay. Depending on what percent of his clientele are Spanish, you run a Spanish campaign on solar roofing, you are now in a niche. You're in a niche of a niche. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm typing it just to not forget.
No, it's in how much of your competition disappears. How much better are you as a prospective client to everyone who needs the service done when it's in their language coming on their phone?
Yeah, because the other companies don't speak Spanish, so
And
yeah,
they're likely not marketing in Spanish. Now, there's a high chance that he'd rather target the English speaker just because of the wealth difference. Right? It being a high ticket niche, but on the basis that he works with quite a few Spaniards, very good angle to go down.
Yeah, because competitive advantage.
Yes.
Pero tú, por ejemplo, a finales de año te gustaría tener una media o algo estable, no de a veces tener una y a veces tener 15.
Yeah, obviamente.
You drink water like a bitch. Let's just watch that again.
No de a veces tener una y a veces tener 15.
Yeah, obviamente la consistencia es lo más importante porque el negocio, claro, digo, ojalá yo pueda tener, qué sé yo, 20 ventas cada mes.
Claro. Bueno, tú ya me habías dicho que el precio aproximado con el que trabajas depende del sistema, ¿no es cierto? Puede a veces ganar 500, como puede a veces ganar 10.000, ¿no es cierto?
Claro, eso no hay una media y todo va a depender del tamaño del sistema, especialmente en Pensilvania hay zonas que tienen un alto consumo de electricidad. Sin embargo, son casas pequeñas, no tienen el espacio para poner.
All's going better. He's being more respectful of you. I'm pretty sure when it comes to negotiation, what happens, if I was to be descriptive, is he bends you over and does what he wants. Is that correct?
He just liked the offer, but he told me like he spent like on a TV campaign like a week ago, so he didn't have that much money to invest.
Yeah.
That's why he told me like, let's see in 2 weeks more how we are.
Interesting. Was the campaign in English or Spanish? Oh, you don't know.
It's Spanish. Yeah, like a radio thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You're a billick.
Claro. Entonces hay que buscar barrios que tengan casas grandes.
Claro, no.
No, look at this.
Barrios
Why are you being happy? Why are you showing emotion? Look.
que tengan casas grandes.
Claro, no.
Yeah, he's so serious. He doesn't express any emotion, and I'm just
Because
like
there's no emotions to this. I'm here to make more money. Yeah, more money. Cool.
Okay.
That's the intellectual, but it's not like they're gonna get like their nipples hard and stuff. Like it's just
Should I be like that in every sales meeting? So just like not express any sort of emotion.
There's not much benefit to showing emotion.
Okay.
Now, in certain cases, it is beneficial because the prospect needs you to be more understanding of their situation, right? And you're pushing negative rapport a lot. So cool. Let's be understanding. Let's come across as understanding. And for that, you need some emotional like direction or like some play on emotions. Other than that, not necessarily.
Okay.
But I wouldn't focus too much on it. There's other things that you should focus on that will make more of a difference.
Conversion rate es también alto, me dijiste que era alto. Perfecto. Bueno, ya, me parece perfecto. Te voy a mostrar la presentación. Creo que te va a parecer algo bastante interesante y bueno, creo que va a valer la pena.
Ya, vamos a ver.
Ya, ¿se puede ver?
Ya.
What a shit page. This is like it's a design. This is like we just hit the 2000s, and this is the first thing that's coming out. Top level quality designs. EC solar. Yeah. It doesn't matter, but yeah.
Ya, entonces,
Also, high quality means nothing.
este,
It's much
should
better.
should I take this like the slogan?
It's much better to say leads, right? And they say, oh, but I don't want leads. Then you're confused. What do you mean? Oh no, I only want qualified leads. They say, what do you mean qualified? They say, I need this. And they say, yeah, leads.
Okay.
Oh no, normally we get it. Yeah, that doesn't fucking count. Right?
Yeah.
That's a much more powerful play than saying high quality leads. Right? Because the other ones don't class as leads, so why the fuck are they called leads? Make sense?
Makes sense, makes a lot of sense. Es el sistema que más tiempo te va a ahorrar al final, porque no tienes que estar pendiente a ninguna llamada como en el sistema anterior, que era con el live transfer, ¿no es cierto? Que tú me habías comentado que era un sistema en el que tú a veces no podías aceptar las llamadas porque al final cada uno tiene su tiempo.
You're moving too much. None of your movements is helping this call at all.
Tiempo, ¿no es cierto? Ya. Entonces, básicamente lo mismo, creamos las campañas, las testeamos para lograr un CPL bajo, generamos las leads y clasificamos las leads, que es muy importante, porque ¿qué es lo que te pasaba anteriormente? Te pasaban leads nomás, pero no te las clasificaban, y por eso la calidad no era tan buena. Por eso también la gente ni siquiera estaba interesada en ir solo. Entonces nosotros clasificamos las leads, y en vez de transferírselas directamente en vivo, nosotros tendríamos acceso a tu calendario laboral, por lo tanto agendaríamos una...
You're over explaining. How much money does my man make?
A lot.
And you're trying to really explain and articulate how a lead generation process works.
No, I'm explaining why the other lead generation companies didn't work for him, because they provided like shit leads that weren't like...
Now, what is more realistic? Versus, oh yeah, make sense?
Yeah.
I would say what I need to say in Spanish, but I don't want to put you down with your shit Spanish. Right? But coming across like this, obviously they don't work. This is the reason why yeah, I'm relaxed. And there's
Okay.
over explain, those guys are fucking idiots. Yes. And what you're doing is, the reason that they did. Do you see?
Yeah. Gotcha.
You're over explaining, which is another form of overcompensation, which isn't necessary. It doesn't help the call.
Cita con el prospect puede ser esta cita en presencial o también puede ser online. Ahí podemos después negociar qué es lo que te parece mejor. Yo creo que lo mejor sería una cita presencial, porque de esa forma, como acordamos, la conversión es mucho más alta.
Sí, obviamente hay que tomar en cuenta la distancia. Yo puedo visitar desde mi oficina 10 clientes en un día. Sin embargo, si se tiene que visitar uno por uno manejando y el tráfico y la distancia, eso es menos eficiente. Pero sí, como te decía, el 80% yo lo hago de manera virtual, más eficiente, más...
Just on a side note, this man's wife both loves him and fears him at the same time.
Obviamente, al final igual uno gasta más combustible yendo para allá y todo el tema, gasto de tiempo, pero claro, ahí hay que llegar a un punto en el que capaz podemos también una zona targetearla y buscar appointments presenciales y en otra online, y así no pierdes tiempo yendo a lugares tan lejanos. Entonces, tu tarea sería solamente meterte a la reunión que agendamos y cerrar el prospect, que ya estaría clasificado a tus estándares. Entonces tu conversión aumentaría, porque al final sí van a estar interesados. No te va a pasar eso que tú me dijiste, que no querían.
Everything that you're fucking saying can be said in 2 fucking sentences. But now you're over speaking, and you're like, you're trying to put a point across, and you're trying to get him to believe it, which is the issue. When something's a fact, it's a fact. You don't need to fucking justify it. You don't have to go over and in and in. It's a fact.
I think that is just like, I'm trying to make sure that he understands.
He does understand, right? And even if he doesn't, the less you say, the more believable it sounds.
That's true.
He might not even fucking get it, but he's gonna pretend like he gets it. Look at these calls. There's sometimes I say something and everyone nods their heads along. Yes, 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 that makes sense. And they don't fucking know what the fuck was said. But they believe it to be true. Yeah.
Solamente querían saber a ver de qué se trataba.
Why are you dancing like a clown? Look at this.
No querían instalar, solamente querían saber a ver de qué se trataba. Nosotros filtramos eso antes, entonces tú no estás partiendo tu tiempo. Bien. Bueno, esto es lo que ya te había mostrado. Tú me habías dicho, claro, en Pensilvania cobran mucho por la electricidad, pero las casas son chicas, entonces podemos concentrarnos en barrios como Short Hills, Saddle River, Princeton, barrios que son high income neighborhoods y básicamente tienen casas mucho más grandes, ¿no? Entonces, bueno, acá
What does aim mean in Spanish?
It's just thinking, but now I'm
Oh,
trying.
is that how the Spaniards think?
It's like in English, but now I'm trying to just like, yeah, not use it anymore.
Let's try not to.
Lo mismo va a ser bastante parecido, simplemente la live transfer no va a surgir, simplemente la clasificación sería el estimated credit score, cuánto pagan.
You're just a bitch on the school. It's impressive.
I use a lot of my hands when I talk.
But you're not using them correctly. There's no power behind it. Right? You can use it, but it has to be structured. You go from here to there to there. Look what you're doing.
And the luz al mes, porque es muy importante un presupuesto claramente. Si son homeowners, el tipo de techo, la utility company que usan, si hay árboles en la casa que pueden afectar la instalación y el rendimiento.
See how I'm replicating.
Estas preguntas las vamos a hacer y te las vamos a pasar en anticipación, entonces tú ya vas a saber toda esa información.
Have you ever seen me use my hands like that?
No.
So sometimes we have to get that over. No. You know, so using your hands incorrectly.
Like slower also.
No, you use it to the point. Now, if I'm trying to categorize and separate things, I'm going to separate as I talk about it. I'm separating it. Yeah. If I want to look at the full picture, that's what I'm doing. All right. You're kind of just like waving them as you speak, and then you go back to this position, and then we go back to the waving position, and this waving position that you're doing. Right?
Yeah.
There's no actual purpose behind it.
Yeah, it's just to do something with the hands.
Yes.
Para el momento.
Which is good. You're just doing it wrong, so it doesn't help.
Tener esa meeting con el cliente.
And you keep going back to this bitch position. Yeah. One thing, just a quick note. Jess, are you recording this call?
I?
Is your name Jess?
Yes, yes, I am.
But I sometimes overextend the call. So if you want to end the recording now, you can. And if you want to go to your other tasks, you can, or you can stay. Up to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say goodbye.
Yeah. I sometimes overdo my calls.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
¿Va haciendo sentido? Sí, claro. ¿Te das cuenta cómo este proceso realmente asegura, al contrario de las otras lead generation companies que has trabajado?
Why are you talking about other lead generation companies?
Because he mentioned at the beginning that they were shit. And
at the beginning, and how many times do you keep fucking bringing them up?
To make sure that he understands that we're.
I think I froze. Oh, that's so cool. My Wi-Fi cut out. I'm back. Am I back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I think a third world nation just went above us. The Wi-Fi cut out, and I was. So.
Let me share again.
No, it's fine. We're going to stop. It's a shit call. Enzo. if a girl, you're on a date, yeah, if she says to you that she really dislikes her ex, are you going to keep bringing him up as a comparative in order for her to get that you're not like him?
No,
Why are you doing it now?
I don't know. I thought it would work. So this, I understood that he really hates lead generation companies.
No.
So
That's no. What you have to understand is it's not the ex that's the problem. It's them that's the problem. They need to get that. Every time you bring up the lead generation company, you take it away from them. Focus is on them. The other company is not remotely relevant to your success with him. You need to figure out who he is, and that's what will determine whether or not it will or won't go correctly. No? If I dislike somebody, right? Does that mean I'm going to like somebody just because I dislike them? No, I'm going to judge that person on their own merit. No?
yeah, it's true.
So why bring them up repeatedly? Arzan does this every once in a while. You want to shut up about the fucking prospects. And you remember Arzan when you did that?
What was exactly?
When you were bringing up the old companies that they worked with, as though that would
Yeah.
be brownie points. Did it work?
No.
Oh, fascinating. Wonderful. Guys, we'll finish off 9 minutes and then we can. Oh, there's no course tomorrow, so you should. So, final a few questions and then we'll carry this on next time. Alejandro.
So I have the onboarding call tomorrow with the client
Why the fuck do you have onboarding call?
because I needed to discuss with him the qualification, the criteria that he needed for the appointments.
Can he just not send it to you in an email?
Yeah. Also, I needed to have the call with him because he said that he doesn't have like a CRM where he can book the appointments. So he asked me if we could like do it in our CRM. But I'm going to offer to him to just pay Calendly and give us the link to.
No. All you need is access. So YouTube, how to do this? You need him to give you access into his personal calendar, whether that's Gmail or Outlook, and then just manually book it in from there. So when you get a booking, book it in through there.
What if he has like 4 sales guys?
Then he has to fucking distribute, doesn't he?
So he distributed by his own.
Yes.
Yeah, I will take the call with him anyways. I need to discuss some things. And
worst case, do it on Calendly. That's fine.
okay, and my question was, I was planning just discuss the clarification criteria about the appointment. Is there anything else I need to discuss on the onboarding? Before
onboarding calls are most retarded. They're so awkward. I've had to help people get out of onboarding calls. Yes, perfect. Send a job form because it's a super awkward call because they're there ready for a full 1 hour onboarding session and you've got nothing to fucking say. Yeah. Moving forward, just aim to keep it on drop form.
Yeah, could I just like say at the beginning of the call that we're just going to do this? It won't take more than 20 minutes, and yeah, that's it. I just need this, and just handle it with that frame.
Will not take more than 5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, and then he's gonna question why didn't I just send this in an email? Yep. Let's go, Matthias.
I keep running into prospects that want Google Ads. We discussed this yesterday. Do you recommend to have a Google presentation? You just say, we can do that. Then you present Facebook.
Don't say we can, just say we do that.
We do that, yes.
Yes.
So no presentation for this.
In many niches, Google is much better than like Google is the way forward.
For roofers also? Okay.
What are the roofers telling you?
That they want Google Ads.
So what does fucking common sense dictate?
Sorry?
What does common sense dictate?
Well, it doesn't mean that Google Ads is better, but I'll take it's better in this scenario.
So if you keep bumping into fucking roofers who tell you that they want Google Ads, yes, and they have experience, yeah, Google is very good because Google will get you people who are typing in roofers.
Yeah.
So yeah, much stronger. Sammy.
You know, with the onboarding, does it, let's say if they're having problems with the onboarding, would you put them on a call after that just to help
Yes,
them
yes,
with the
yes.
process?
Yes, but the only issue is, I'll give an example. So I don't remember who the fuck it was. There was a wonderful client or student, however you want to call it, who, I mean, I'll ask you guys questions if you prefer, a question after, who was onboarding his client, getting it all set up. When the retard calls me, Ismael, I'm here with a client. She just signed her. She's getting annoyed because I don't know how to set this up. And I look like an idiot. Can you please come in and help me? Because I don't know what I'm doing. Yes. Because it's very clear when you're there on their ad accounts and you don't know where the fuck to go, that you don't know what you're doing. I then hopped on, flirted a little bit, got the job fixed, and then I fucked off. Yeah. But you want to aim not to do onboarding forms because it's a waste of time. Everything can be done on a job form. You don't need their stuff. And it just makes life easier.
Would you put a loom as well, just showing them like for the Facebook side, because a
Yeah.
lot of them have problems.
Perfect. I would just send them something I found on YouTube. But yes, even better than that, make a loop.
I see. All right, that's fine.
Aslan.
Would you say every thought can impact you before you even recognize it? Before you understand the thought?
Okay, so in translation, does your subconscious impact you before it becomes conscious?
Yeah.
I'll let you sit with that. Does your subconscious impact you even though it's not conscious?
So the question more, when you have a thought and you just don't think about this thought, but still you have this thought, it still impacts you even you don't put so much focus on it.
Then you go deep into it. Find out where it actually comes from. Like generally go deeper and why and further and further and further, and you'll hit a point where you'll understand what did daddy do wrong, and that's why you have that thought. Or what did mommy do, or whatever it may be. Like those kind of thoughts, it's an example would be there's a person literally sitting opposite me, right? Who every time they're in a certain state, they need paracetamol because they have a headache. They don't actually have a headache, it's psychosomatic. It's a headache to distract them from the thoughts that they're trying to avoid. So the body's created a coping mechanism to handle negativity by putting a like fake headache in their head, right? Now, the best way to do that is recognizing that there isn't actually a headache. It's an actual thought that needs to be thought about. And once that thought is actually tackled, then the headache will literally go away.
Yeah. Makes sense. Thank you.
Wonderful. This has been a good call, relatively-ish. How are you guys finding Sincere? Is that shit?
Yeah, no, he's decent. I haven't had too many sales calls, so yeah.
Generally, does anyone here dislike Sincere? Or doubt his competence?
He was very helpful.
Really?
Yeah.
It's impressive. He's Mexican. I'm quite surprised. I found him at Home Depot. We needed a tire change. Turns out he was a little bit more useful than that. Wonderful. Okay, no, he is very good. I'm glad you guys like him. I'm going to see if I can get him involved more front-facing. Wonderful. Guys, I'll see you all on Monday. And if you have any questions, just think about your questions and hold them in your head. Yeah? Wonderful. See you guys.